Good evening, friends. I'm Catherine Chan Goodwin, and I am here on behalf of Francine Lee, who is the chair of the North Texas chapter of the Asian Pacific Islander American Public Affairs Association. I'm on the advisory board. I'm here in her place today. I want to thank Ro O'Meara, president of Plano Area Dems, for setting up this event today to mark this occasion for our community. I'm going to read a brief statement from Francine that she sent to me. So, the Asian Pacific Islander American Public Affairs Association, or APAPA, has grown into a national organization empowering our diverse communities, increasing voter engagement, and developing a new generation of AAPI leaders in America. We collaborate with other diverse organizations, public officials, and community leaders to create awareness and support to fight hate crimes, address systemic racism, and provide opportunities for our collective voices to be heard. The Lunar New Year marks an important cultural holiday celebrated by millions of Asian Americans in the United States. These 15 days of festivities and customs that we hold near to us were upended by the staggering violence that occurred in Monterey Park, leaving our AAPI community heartbroken. As the pandemic progressed, the frequency of attacks on the Asian community has only gotten worse. This holiday gave us hope to be together, to celebrate together again. That hope was crushed. There has not been equity for Asian Americans, and these acts of violence only make the pain of inequity worse. The time for action together with all of our communities is now. APAPA is expanding our outreach and voter education to empower new groups of leaders to take up a fight together for us for meaningful reform so that we may all live together peacefully in a community as one. On a personal note, I want to encourage all of you to take the courage to be involved in your communities, to volunteer, to sign up for civic organizations, so that all of our neighbors can know who we are and that we are their neighbors and we are no different than they are, so we can live together and make a better place for our children. And as to that, I am running for Plano ISD School Board Place 7 to hope to bring our voices to that community so that all of our children and educators can live and educate our children better together. Thank you. Thank you. And then basic news coming up. Okay. Good citizen. Saeed.
Safe, go ahead. I'm
sure?
gonna video. I'll go ahead.
Okay.
You're on camera anyway.
Thank you again. My name is Saif. I'm running for. I'm
He's
sorry.
announcing right now.
We came here to show our support to people that have died for no reason. Again, this is what's happening with the gun culture and the hate that's around us. So it's important being in this community. We try to encourage people to speak up. We need to take a stand. Hate and violence has no place in our community and should not be tolerated at all. So again, this is a sad day for us, everyone. We should sympathize and we should have our backs for each other. This is a country for everyone. Everyone is a citizen regardless of our color, our race, our ethnic makeup. We should have that freedom to exercise and live in peace. So let's support each other. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're gonna bring up Moms Demand Action
Oh, okay, yeah.
representatives. So
Let's do that.
And we're gonna share impact story as well.
First of all, thank you guys for all coming with such short notice. Obviously, this is not the reason why we want to be here, but sadly, we continue to have to keep coming back here. We want to stop. We don't want to have to come back here and have this conversation. We don't want to have to light another candle, give more thoughts and prayers, lay down more flowers.
Right.
We want change, and we want it now.
Right.
So I took a stand and I decided to become more active in Moms Demand Action.
Awesome.
It's for moms and everyone, not just moms. They call it moms and others, right? Because we all need to take a stand to make sure gun safety is the norm instead of gun violence. I want to bring up a very, very courageous person who has been part of this community far too long for her young life. So I'm going to ask her to share her story in her words, but she is no stranger to helping and being an advocate. She's done so in so many ways, but I want her to share her story with us right now, Jamaica Brown.
All right.
Well, hello. I'm glad you all could come out on this little chilly afternoon, evening. But I just want to share a quick, brief story about my life. And just to put it out there that, you know, anytime that something of gun violence happens, the families of those victims are reminded every time. You know, it's not something that we get to just have our thoughts and prayers about, or it's not something that we get to, you know, come and light a candle or do this. It's a everyday occurrence for us, you know. And so about 9 years ago in March, I got a phone call that my dad had been killed in San Antonio with gun violence. And you know, when tragedies like this happen, life continues to happen for everyone else, and it doesn't get to continue to happen for us. And you don't get a proper time to grieve, you know. And so I think when remembering these victims, the statistics for every town is there's 110 people killed by gun violence a day. What's not statistically shown is the families who are impacted and the friends that are impacted by the 110 people who are killed a day, and what we have to continue to go through every day. And so for us, it's planning funerals and making arrangements. You know, I saw my grandparents lose a son. I saw my brother lose a parent, and so it's something that we deal with every day and something that you don't forget, but in the same time you have no remembrance of it at all. And so I don't remember most days after that. I don't remember what happened because it was just so much domino effect right after another. And so I just ask that you remember those family members. Be intentional when you're having these conversations, when you are doing these things, when you're advocating to school boards, when you're advocating in your life, even to people. I'm also, you know, it's this misconception when there's this thing going on with gun violence that you can't have conversations with gun owners. I'm from East Texas. All my family was brought up around guns, you know, so there's this unity where we can have gun safety and you can still be a gun owner and still own those things. But I think when we come here to these places that we have to really remember the families after the fact of these, you know, their lives are still going to continue. Also think about, I think, the triggers. You know, we're quick to share things and quick to show things, but there's nothing more powerful than seeing those things reappear over and over again. So I just say be mindful of what you share and how you share it and what you share of people, and that those families still have to pick up every day and continue with their lives. So I say if you have been affected by gun violence, and you can be a survivor in any way, whether that's a parent, a sibling, a friend, you were involved in one yourself, I just, you know, get involved with every town. They have a survivors network that that unites you with many people who are also survivors, and it also gets connected. If you haven't been impacted, thankfully, then please get plugged in with Moms Demand Action. You know, they are out here doing the groundwork to make sure that we don't have to continue to do this. And so I just ask that you, if you remember these 11 names, that you remember the countless names that you are never going to hear about, and remember those families and those sons and those daughters and those parents who are having to deal with this forever. So thank you for your time.
We're a national and a local organization promoting South Asian voting. So we want the South Asians to get out and vote Democrat. So that's, you know, I think one of the things, well, the first thing I'd like to do is just have a moment of silence for the 11 victims, and not only the 11 victims, but all the victims, because I think we're all suffering in any one way or another, but there have been more than 11 victims even this year, I think. So let's take a moment for silence. Well, I just wanted to thank all of you for coming and, you know, coming to this memorial to pay your respects and remember the victims of gun violence, not only from Saturday, but from forever. Because I think this country is in a very big epidemic of it's out of control. Gun usage is out of control. People are not using guns as they're meant to be. People are owning guns. They shouldn't be owning these guns, and so we really, really have to get involved. And I know that we're all involved anyway to get the right people elected into government. But why don't we do more? Like, I know Moms Demand Action does a lot of work, but we need to do it too. We need to get involved and do it too. There's a lot of issues that we have to work on. I know it's overwhelming, but this is a huge issue. I hate seeing little kids going to school and learning how to hide. I mean, can you imagine that? I never had to do that when I went to school here. So why should little kids have to learn that? It just breaks my heart. So let's all get involved and let's do something about this. One way is to elect the Democratic candidates, good Democratic candidates, who believe in making sure that guns are used properly and common sense gun legislation is passed. Not just, you know, in Texas we allow anyone to have a gun, whether they're, you know, they should or not, you know. So let's get lots of people elected that actually, you know, will do the work that we want them to do. So thank you again for coming, and let's work together. I love this group of people that we've collected, and thank you again for coming today.
And then we have Somos Tejas.
Good evening. My name is Ramiro Luna. I am the co-founder and executive director of Somos Tejas. It is a sad evening today, and the tragic loss of 11 lives, when in reality we should be celebrating a new year. We're mourning over the end of 11 lives, and the fact that it's something that is part of a culture that we can put an end to, and that is the gun culture, it's the violence culture. The fact that we invest so much in allowing and having guns accessible to almost anyone, yet for mental health or for the health of our community, there's so little investment in. Yep. It's something that we should, you know, focus on in these days where we ask ourselves, what can we do? Something that happened in California, in one of the areas that was one of the strongest communities in the Asian community. Someone who's also an immigrant understands, you know, the frustration and the pain that sometimes we go through, and understanding that, you know, what would it be like if, you know, this is not a place to point fingers at any situation, but what if we had time to empathize and understand that what would happen if there was more mental health? Because anyone who has the capacity to pull a trigger and kill somebody, their heart and their mind is not in the right place. And the fact that we don't have the resources to allow somebody to get help, yet we have resources to have them find guns, is something that we should, you know, have it as an encouragement to continue our work. Because in the issues that we fight for, that are progressive issues,
Yep.
they're intertwining in one way or another.
Yep.
Whenever we care about the immigrant community, whenever we care about mental health, whenever we want to make it more difficult for people to have access to guns, they're all intertwining. Just as the diverse community that is here today, the only way that we can find our unity to trickle enough and resonate enough to reach those communities is if we put our grain of sand and continue to fight for our brothers and sisters, regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of wherever their mind may be at that time. If we empathize and we realize that at this moment, whenever we should be celebrating, the only way that we can stop tragedy is by continuing to do the work that we have done day in and day out. The only thing that I find hope in is in the diversity that I see today. And I know in this cold, chilly evening, it may be difficult for a lot of people to join us, but I know they're here with us in spirit, and the fact that we have social media to be able to broadcast the messages that we're sending out today is a beautiful thing, because we heard beautiful messages from powerful leaders, and I hope that the words that we spoke of resonate into the minds of those that can eventually make a change, because we have too many legislators that have the power to make a difference.
Yep.
Because sadly, I wish this will be the last time that we light a candle,
Yep.
and I wish this was the last time that we pass a rose.
Yep.
But that's, you know, if I'm real, this will not be the last time until we have legislators that are brave enough to take a stand.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it'll take us to push them,
Yep.
to say, you know what, we've had enough.
Yep. Yep.
You know, if it's not coming from them, let the pressure from us be so intense
Yep.
that they have to make a change.
Right.
Because that change that is going to be made is going to save lives. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much for the work that y'all are doing, because if it wasn't for your work, a lot of us would be feeling hopeless. But I find hope in each one of your stories, and I find hope in the fact that you're here speaking truth to power. And I just wanted to say that Somos Texas is very proud to be standing here in unity with so many diverse faces and so many strong organizations. So thank you.
Thank you. Let's go do.
The first week of February is also National Gun Violence Survivors Week. And so if you're looking for ways to get plugged in on a day that's going to be impactful, you know, you don't want to do something alone, let's say look up your local, like someone said, it doesn't have to be moms, but if you're looking for something to do, just especially for that week, just to get started, that is the first week of February, and you can text ACT to 64444 if you want to ask for the number again. They'll get you connected with a local leader and anything like that you might need to get plugged in with them and to get started. And it'll be a great week to find people that with like-mindedness that you can get plugged into.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And then
I'm introducing myself. I happen to be walking by. I'm a resident of Richardson, and
Welcome.
thank you.
Thanks for stopping by. I saw you were
I was
interested.
very moved. I have a high schooler right now. It's pretty scary for him and the parents. So I have committed to campaigning for Janet DuPuy, running for mayor. I've been a resident there for 9 years. When you speak about legislators and finding good people, I'm pretty certain that she's going to surround herself with people that are good as we combat some serious challenges in our school district and in our city that does not necessarily represent the diversity at leadership like it should. So I would encourage you to vote in your city council elections and for your board of trustees. If you live in the Plano area or the Richardson area, just go blue. Go as blue as you can. That's all we get. We
Go
have
blue
some
all over
open
Texas.
positions, and people are afraid to sign up for them. Encourage colleagues that you know. People are losing their big fat jobs at technology companies at Google. That would be an incredible talent for them to go and offer their services in more public sector ways. So again, people that you know, just we've got to get on the inside and correct it from the inside, because courtrooms aren't going to do it for us, and we can't wait. We can't wait. It's already too late.